Restaurant closed for COVID breach in Grenada. St. George's, Grenada. Health authorities were on Friday forced to shut down the operations of the Coconut Beach, a popular restaurant here, just hours after it hosted an event that was attended by more than 100 people. You weren't forced to do anything. Get that straight. You went and you closed down people's restaurant just for hosting something what restaurants do. And it had more than 100 people, so now, you know, they've broken the law. I mean, can't people see that these things are totally ridiculous? When is opening a restaurant against the law? When? How? Who who voted on this law? Nobody. Nobody voted on this law. It just poof appeared out of nowhere. Grenada is currently under a state of emergency due to the pandemic. As a result, the Emergency Powers Act was activated. That's what I tell people. That's what I keep saying. We've given our individual powers away to these governments, and now they feel that they are in such high authority that they can deem anything as an emergency if they want. Because under these Emergency Powers Acts, they can do whatever they want. Only thing they have to do is they don't have to, hold a meeting or something like that, or have the public, vote on anything. They just have to deem something an emergency. And I keep saying, if you're looking for these governments to, to get you out of what they put you in, yeah, you're reading a thing. The Emergency Powers Act regulation states that no person shall host or attend any event or gathering of any description, apart from weddings and funerals. So now they can tell you what you can and can't do with your own business, and what you can do. You can't host any event, and the only events you can host are weddings and funerals. Who decided? They decided. These are not laws. These are authoritarian mandates. Nobody voted on these. They just beam something emergency and write it on paper and send it out. Yeah, that's a mandate. You have to follow that. With no regard to the businesses of which they are destroying. None. And that is the objective. Sad to say. The objective is to shut down the small business, allow the big businesses to stay open, and close the gap of the middle class, because of the three classes, the middle class is the biggest. So you have the elite, then you have the high class, and you have the middle class, you have the lower class. I, I say four, but it's some say three, I say four, maybe five classes, but it's mostly three: high class, middle class, and low class. And they want to shrink the middle class, and the middle class that you know they will then move into the lower class, which increase the lower class, and they have two classes, which is the low class and the high class. So they want to increase that wealth gap, because the only people that could revolt and win against these people are the middle class, because they're gonna have the resources to you know win a revolution. But if they're low class and they're constantly worried about food and resources and cost of living and all that stuff, they're not gonna be able to fight back. That's what they do in certain countries. And heard stories in countries like Cuba. Um, they kept the people poor and hungry so that they could only focus on that next meal. Where's that next meal coming from? Where's the next government handout coming from? But if they're independent, which the middle class is, they can't control them as much, and they're afraid of the middle class. They're afraid of all of us because we outnumber them. But if they can get us, all sick or dead, you know, kill what they can't control and control what they can't kill. So, of us who don't die by the vaccine, they're gonna get us another way. They've been doing it for years with all the other previous vaccines and the highly processed foods and GMO food and all the chemtrails and chemicals they're spraying in the air on the plants, the glyphosate, all those dangerous toxic chemicals they're spraying in the air. They've been all the fluoride in the water. They've been dumbing us down for years and killing us for years. But now it's like depopulation on steroids. The agenda is moving as fast as it can at warp speed. And this is just part of it. Making up laws as they're going on. And like, if you give people, if you give a certain Any people. If you give people the ability to draw the lines and make the laws, I mean, that's, a, in my opinion, that's the first mistake you made. Giving a certain class and certain people the ability to make laws. Because they can draw those lines wherever they want, and they can rub them out and redraw them again. They can move the overton window wherever they want, move the goalposts wherever they want, whatever they see is law. We gotta get this into our heads. They're no different than us. We're all the same, we're all humans. What gives the government the right to make these laws and then like they're drawing them with pencil or something, they drawing them in and then they rub them out and drawing them over. They are supposed to represent us. They are supposed to serve us. It's supposed to be a relationship, a partnership. We pay you, represent us, serve us, and you, in turn, make life better for us. And we work as a team. But it's no longer a team sport. It's them on high dictating to us down low what needs to be done and what needs to happen for public health. I was listening to the David Knight show uh, this evening, and he said like if the individual give up his or her rights for the group, which is what we're all doing now, it's it doesn't make sense because the group is made up of individuals, and if the individual by himself or herself doesn't have rights, then no one in the group has any rights. And if no one in the group has rights, I mean no one has rights. What are we doing? All of a sudden, it's an emergency, so the individual rights doesn't matter, but the group rights matter. But yet, the group is made up of individuals, and if the individual rights does not exist, then no one in the group rights exist. And they get us with that all the time, one for all and all for one and all sorts of bullshit. We all do this together, and I have to wear masks to protect others and all sort of thing. I have to get vaccines to protect others, all this sort of thing. I just had to laugh. I was like, no, that's true. The group is made up of individuals, and if there's no individual rights, there's no group rights. And they've constantly played that card every day. I mean, it's every day. You have to do this to protect me, and I have to do this to protect you. And it's so funny. It's so, you know, it's nonsense. Going on. The numbers allowed for these events are 20, but special permission can be sought from the COVID-19 committee for an event in which the host would like to have more people. So you own a restaurant, you can only allow 20 people if you hold an event. You're not gonna make any money? What are you talking about? What is this? I am not, I hate math, but 20 people for an event, for a business, what is that even 1%? What what is what are we doing? I mean, kudos for these people for opening up their business. And shame on the authorities, man. Shame on these authorities. I keep it's so frustrating that the authorities in countries are doing this, man. We are not we are in the Caribbean and other places. We are essentially developing nations and so on. Well, these people are carrying out these mandates. They are not in the club. They are stooges of stooges of stooges working for the people in the club. Government officials, you're not in the club. You're not in the inner ring. What are you doing to keep your job from money that's gonna be worthless in a couple of years? What are you think is what do you think is gonna happen when you close down these businesses? You shut down the economy, and then we constantly have to be bailed out by the IMF, the World Bank. That's not free money. They're not giving us that money for free. Barbados got 24 million, and that was only this is really first quarter, second quarter, first quarter. That money is not free money. That's not handout money. Yeah, you got a lot in your country to get it, but that's not the end. You have you have to pay that money back. It's not a handout. That's a loan, and you're more than likely gonna pay it back. You have to pay it back more 10 or 15 times that much. But I guess in the coming great reset, all that debt is gonna be blown away because they are gonna get rid of the physical currency and go digital. That means all your debts are gonna be gone, but you're not gonna own anything. It's not gonna be the government of Barbados or the government of Grenada or the government of Jamaica. It's not gonna be the government of this country. It's gonna be one world government. We're gonna be ruled by outside forces. That doesn't mean that we're not being ruled by outside forces at this time or in the past, but it's gonna be more so. and it's gonna be way worse than it is right now, and it can get worse. You think it's bad? No. Imagine when we are being ruled by other countries who are halfway around the world, the other side of the world. I mean, it's happening right now. Whatever the U.S. or the UK does, we're doing here. So it's getting close. We gotta keep fighting back. We can't just let them come and shut down our businesses and get away with it. Because if you open up your business, you go 100% capacity, you're gonna show other people that this thing ain't real. What they're saying isn't real. What is here going on isn't real. Pandemic, it's not going on. Pandemic is not happening if you open your business to 100% and show people. But if you close down, it's gonna be real. People acquiescing and wearing masks and social distancing and locking down is making it real, even though it's not real. You gotta choose if you're gonna open up and have your business closed, or you're gonna stay locked down and your business go or, or go to business. I mean, pick one. Live on your feet or die on your knees or live on your feet or whatever it is. Die on your feet or live on your knees. Yeah, that's it. Gotta pick one.
Hey guys, I'm going to try to put the numbers in perspective here using pennies. Okay, here we go. We have 8,000 pennies here. Now, these pennies are going to represent the world's population of almost 8 billion. Let's try to visualize what 10% of the world's population would look like. Okay, now let's see what 1% of the world's population looks like. So we've got 8,880. That's 1% of the world's population. Okay, now let's see what 1/10 of 1% of the world's population looks like. 1/10 of 1% of the world's. Now in 2020, roughly 60 million people died, represented by these 60 pennies right here. Guess how many of these 60 pennies, even if we go by their numbers, guess how many of these 60 pennies were from the thing that we're not allowed to talk about right now? The thing that's changed the entire world. Roughly 2. Guess what the average age of these 2 pennies are? Right around 80 years old. The media never once tried to put any of this in perspective to you. We've had to change up the way all of these 8,000 pennies have to live their lives. 2 pennies. Average age around 80. So now all the kids and all the people, think the businesses, everything that was destroyed over this, changing our way of life, everything. Think about that. Is this adding up? Does this make sense? For these 2 pennies, these, all 8,000 of these have their lives completely turned upside down. And now we have to start injecting stuff. Does that seem right? Does that seem normal? I don't think so. And having your kids go through all this stuff, and any parent that's still allowing their kid to put one of those things on their face, you better think twice, because the damage you're doing to them right now and making them feel like that's normal. We all have a right to openly breathe. We all have a right to live our lives in a normal way. Don't buy into what the media is selling, because the media will never put it this way, because there's a bigger thing at hand right now. I hope this helped maybe put things in perspective for you.